President Trump's meeting with the NATO chief. You're looking at CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro in our D.C. bureau. Aaron, good morning. Good morning. There had previously been friction between the president and NATO. Did this meeting yesterday seem to smooth over any of that?
Somewhat. Yesterday, President Trump continued to voice that disapproval you mentioned with NATO and called out specific countries, the UK, Germany, France, and Spain, claiming they did not do enough to secure the Strait of Hormuz earlier in the Iran war or enough to help the U.S. The president did, though, praise his relationship with the NATO Secretary Mark Rutte, who said there have been isolated cases where President Trump did not get the support he wanted from NATO, but said generally the alliance has been supportive. He pointed to U.S. planes involved in the Iran war being housed and taking off from European bases. Take a listen to what the two leaders said yesterday.
We were let down. We didn't need help on this at all. We demolished them in literally the first week. But it would have been nice if they would have said, we'd like to help.
He is completely committed to the NATO alliance, but he is also absolutely clear, as always. This is the great strength of this president. So he was always clear, I'm committed to the NATO alliance. But I expect allies to spend more, to equalize with the United States.
At one point yesterday, President Trump said he just wants loyalty from his NATO allies in Europe and not their money. The president's meeting, though, also comes just days after a dust-up online with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and President Trump breaking the news of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's resignation before it was made official. Now, the president is slated to attend the NATO summit in Turkey next month. He said yesterday that he is still going because Turkish President Erdogan asked him to.
Now, Aaron, the Trump administration is also asking Congress for $88 billion. They say this is to help cover the costs of the Iran war, among other things. Are lawmakers receptive to that, considering the war's unpopularity?
It seems to be falling along party lines. The majority of what the White House is requesting, $67 billion, is for the Pentagon to replenish munitions, operational costs, and what they say are, quote, classified programs. $11.1 billion of that is for farm aid, as supply chains have been wrecked by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz earlier in this conflict. And there's also $300 million for the State Department to cover the costs of embassy security in countries surrounding Iran. There's also $1.4 billion to combat the Ebola outbreak in Africa. Lawmakers, as I mentioned, are pretty much falling along where you'd expect them to. Senator Roger Wicker, the Republican chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said the funding